Welcome back to Austin, everybody, for the 2023 NCAA Division I Outdoor Track and Field Championship Preview Press Conference. We'll move on to the coaches now. To my left, we have Chris Bucknam from Arkansas, Edric Florial from Texas, Mike Holloway from Florida, and Wes Kitley from Texas Tech. We'll go ahead and have each of the coaches open up with a few brief comments, and then we'll go to your questions. Go ahead, Coach.
I go first. Okay, it's a pleasure to be here, have a team here, and looking forward to competing this weekend. You know, I love Austin. The facilities, the vibe here is just phenomenal. So we're just looking forward to getting out there and competing with the rest of the teams here and see what we can do. But glad to be here and looking forward to competing.
Probably going to be repeating the same thing he said. So I'll go the other way. I'm looking forward to everybody getting the heck out of Austin. Competition being over, we can get that facility back.
Very excited to be here. We have a great, really exciting group of Gators here ready to compete at the championships, and never been to a bad meet here. Expect that there'll be a lot of great performances and a lot of great team battles to come as well. So it'll be a great meet.
Yeah, not a whole lot more to say. Excited to be here. We love coming to Texas Relays and coming to this venue. As Mouse has said, there's going to be great competition. I think you're going to see records fall. It's going to be tremendous competition. And we're really, the Red Raiders are so proud to be here.
Thank you, coaches. We'll go ahead and take some questions now. Raise your hand if you have a question, and we'll get a mic to you. For those of you following along virtually, just put it in the chat, and we'll get to those when we can. Up front on the right here, Travis.
Question for Coach Holloway. Last year, you won a national championship trophy. So tell us how you approach that going forward. Is that helpful for your team, or is it distracting for your team?
And please take this the right way. It doesn't matter. Once we walked out of Eugene, Oregon, that meet was over. There's nothing to defend. There's nothing to, and it's done. So my approach has always been, once that meet's over, my charge is now to get my team ready for the 23 championships, and I think that my staff and I have done a pretty good job of that. So it's not a distraction for us anyway.
In the middle, Stan.
So my question is for you, Coach Edric. So you are hosting this meet here at Texas. Are there any added distractions, and does it make it more difficult for you to kind of keep your team, focused with it being at your home track?
Yeah, I mean, like my comments as earlier were pretty accurate. When you're hosting, it changes things a little bit. You got, distractions that you typically wouldn't have when you're on the road. You got mom, dad, you got lots of people that want to be part of the action, and that pulls from the student athletes. So what I do is try to keep it as similar to what we do when we get on the road. And there's also special issues that arise, that nicks and knacks that only I know where some of these things are. So yeah, it's just a little bit added. Sometimes you get a little bit boost from it from the athlete, but mostly you just looking forward to the meet running smoothly and having everybody healthy and performing well. Somehow, everything from the weather is going to be my fault, so I'm ready for it.
Back far right, Tyler.
Edric, what makes Julian such a special runner and competitor? Edric, for you. What makes Julian such a special runner and competitor?
She listens. And she does what I ask her to do. That's probably, every coach here will attest that getting the athletes to listen, execute, and sort of replicate what they do at practice is extremely difficult, because you got lots of stuff. You got social media, you got all kind of stuff pulling on them. So it's a battle for their attention. And she gives me her full attention. She listened well. It's been a rocky road for the last 5 years. But it's always cool when you got a kid that does everything right, just watching them come to fruition and be successful, and watching them grow and mature. Something as simple as watching her do this press conference. She used to be frightened to absolute death of doing those, and she's gotten so much better at them. So there's a tremendous amount of growth, and I think that happens within this university and as these young people mature and take on the real world. So I just like the fact that she listened, she executed. She's a really good teammate, really, really good teammate.
Any other questions here? We have one virtual for Coach Kitley. Tech won their first national title here in 2019. Could you revisit your memories from that championship and how you prepared the team to maybe do the same?
Well, I'll sure take any of that 2019 magic for this week. It was a special time for our program. First national championship at Texas Tech. Had a really great team. This is a whole different group. Mouse has said that too. This is a whole different group. I think we have one person that was on that team here. We've been in a lot of championships. This is a seasoned group, and I think they're ready to go. We don't think much about 2019. We're just thinking about tomorrow.
Over here on the left.
For Coach Holloway, you've had a bunch of special groups in the 4x4. What makes this one different, if any?
Other than the fact they ran faster than the other four. Let's be real. Four very talented young men, and they came in from day one. They've trusted and believed in the process. Edric just talked about that a lot, and obviously there was a lot of talk earlier in the year, and our guys are social media lights, like a lot of people are, and so they kind of bought into that, and that made my job easier to get them to work a little bit harder. So we know the job's not done, but they are four very, very dedicated young men to the process and the things we do things at the University of Florida.
If you have a question, raise your hand right here in the middle.
Coach Chris, so you guys swept the indoor and outdoor at Arkansas, of course, you swept the indoor titles, men and women, at Arkansas, at Albuquerque. For Arkansas, is the team, how are they approaching it this time? Is there any, added, oomph to them, knowing that they already did it?
No, I think we're just focused on what's ahead of us right now. Obviously, we're proud of that accomplishment indoors, winning the NCAA title on the men's side. We kind of hit it on all cylinders. We guys were dialed in, and I think as a coach, you're watching and see how the kids react going through. It's a little bit different qualifying procedure now, so you're just looking at body language. You're looking at how kids are talking out at the track and how they're feeling. And again, I just compliment Texas. I compliment the facility. Again, it's all about the vibe for us, and it feels good. And our guys, I think we've recovered from a week out in California and had a week to recover and get ready. And we're excited about this. So really, it's in the back of our mind right now as far as what happened indoors, even what happened a few weeks ago at the SEC championships. It's done. It's over. It's postseason. And you got to be dialed in if you want to score points. And I like where our guys are at, and we're just kind of blinders on and looking forward.
Stay in the middle.
For Coach Forial, Edric, when you guys hosted back in 2019, obviously you were just getting things rolling here. How would you kind of, I don't know if you want to call it like a State of the Union, but just how happy are you with just the progress and the development of the growth, with the championship coming back here in 2023 with where the women's and men's programs are at Texas Austin?
Yeah, when CDC, or Chris Del Conte, if you guys don't know him, hired me, that was sort of what he wanted, to have a competitive team year in, year out. And I think we've been able to slowly build, my staff and I, to get to this point where we have quality young people continuously perform at their highest level. I can guarantee I feel a lot better than I felt in 2019. It was sort of getting started and then just trying to change culture and try to create an identity. This place stands for itself. This is not about what the heck I'm doing. There's people that built it way before me. I'm just a guy that sort of slap a little coat of paint and take a dust and the broom and clean it up a little bit and kind of do it. So I'm not going to take credit for what the University of Texas accomplished at the highest level. It's way bigger than me.
Stay on the left side here.
Chris, has anything Jadon done this year surprised you at all?
I think how far he's jumped surprised me a little bit. He is, he obviously just turned 18 in January or something like that, very young. But I think what surprised me is his maturity, his willingness to listen to Coach Geffert. They put a plan together, and he has just executed it flawlessly. And so hopefully we can continue to do that. But I think the big surprise with him is just how well he listens. I think Edric spoke to it. The great athletes do that. And, he just listens and executes. So that's really been the surprise to me, is how well he's, handled this new environment. He's doing a great job.
Back in the far right by the cameras.
Edric, back here, another question for you. What would it mean for you and your team to win a national title here at home in Austin?
He said, what would it mean to win a national title here in Austin?
Oh, it would be awesome. Not just, less for me than for the alums. Some of you guys don't remember, a long time ago, before I had this gray beard, I coached at Stanford, and there was a tremendous amount of love and appreciation. I think it was a poet, Adelaide Stevenson, that said that people retain the love for this place. I didn't think I'd ever come to a place that is beloved by the alum like this university is. There's a true belief that their blood is not red, it's orange. So to me, watching them be part of it would probably be the big kicker for me. Not so much for me, everybody here has won championships, and you're always happy to win them, then you go back to recruiting. But to be able to watch the alums run in the infield would be, that would be a tremendous feeling, because I think that's what you want to do as a coach. You want to instill a level of pride in your alum and make them feel like they're a part of this university's track and field team. So I think they really want it, and I hope we can deliver and watch them joyfully run to the infield.
Over here on the left.
Question for all four, and it's not about an athlete you coach, but what Britton Wilson's trying to do this weekend is historic. I'm just wondering your perspective for people who've been around the sport for a long time and have seen amazing performances. What do you think about what she's attempting to do?
I'll go first. I've been through this. We went through it with Ricky Harris back in the early 2000s. And when he did the 400 hurdle double, it was a little different, of course, time-wise, but also last year with Anna Hall. And so I think what people should do is sit back and enjoy what they're about to see. Britton's a phenomenal athlete, and clearly Chris is a great coach. So I think that people should stop questioning what they're doing, because if they didn't think it could be done, it wouldn't be doing. So I expect her to compete at a high level and do great things. That's what she always does. But I think people sometimes shy away from greatness, and clearly Chris and Britton aren't doing that.
I'll go next. I'll add this to it. It takes a tremendous amount of courage to attempt to do anything. And I think it's not a prevalent characteristic of our current student athlete. There's a lot of anxiety and fear. So whenever somebody's bold enough to do that, like the madness that Mike Holloway did last year with the 9 event, 20-minute rest. But you just have to appreciate that. You do, and I think for a kid to actually be brave enough to attempt that right there, the battle is already won. And I think that's what we try to all do to our kids, just have them have enough courage to attempt the impossible. It doesn't matter if you make it or don't make it, but just to attempt it is a huge, huge feat. So I'm looking forward to watching that myself.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I get the privilege to watch her work almost every day. Chris Johnson has just done a phenomenal job managing Britton and the improvement that she's made. The thing that impresses me, I think Edric talked a little bit about, bleeding burnt orange or Razorback red or whatever. And, I think what gets lost sometimes is the team aspect of this meet and how important it is. And the fact that she is attempting this, again, just to piggyback on Edric and Miles, just the courage to do that, but do it for the team. And that to me is really special. And she's going to go on to great things after college, but you only live this college life one time, and she's taken full advantage of it. I never see her in a bad mood. I always see her with a smile on her face. She works incredibly hard, polite in the hallways, and very appreciative of being a Razorback. And so I just think that's what impresses me about it, is she can easily say, I'm just doing one event, that's it. But she wants her team to win. And I think that's really special, and I think it gets lost sometimes in an individual kind of setting. Sometimes we get ourselves into, we get locked into that. So I'm impressed.
Yeah, I mean, what else do you say? I watch her in the warm-up area, you know, and just her demeanor. And, you know, she's once-in-a-lifetime type kid that you just dream about having. What a special young lady, special talent. I've coached 39 years. You know, you don't see this very often, as these guys have said. Boy, we need to sit back and enjoy it. And I think she's going to do it very well. So I'm looking forward to seeing it again, too.
Got one last question up right on the right.
Everybody loves this competition, and one of the facets that makes it so special is the team scoring that Coach Buckman talked about here. So my question, I guess, for all four of you, might get in trouble for this, is how much time and how much do you look at kind of totaling up what you think your point total is going to be in this 4-day event? And do you spend time trying to run that calculation for some of your other competitors?
Well, I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you that we didn't, you know, scratch out some points to see where everybody's at. But I mean, it's all about having your kids individually do what they're capable of doing, and you know, it's about the kids, and it's their time now, and we hope that, you know, here at Arkansas, we hope that everybody is dialed in and is on the same page, and I think they are. That's how we've won other championships, and that's how we're looking at this. But you know, we're not going into this blind. It is important, but it also I don't look at it very much, because I just look over my shoulder and know that some badness is coming from some other teams, and you just don't know what's going to happen. So we're just dialed in individually. Hope our kids have a great meet.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's just, unfortunately, like different than a basketball or a football. It is a bunch of individuals that you collectively add the points together that give you the team score. And I think sometimes you can make it too much of that. But each individual have to do their part. Unlike, you know, basketball, you don't have to pass the ball to anybody. You got the ball all to yourself. So I just want the kids to out there do what they've been doing all year. You know, win, lose, or draw, you just want to go out there and feel like what you put in, you're getting out. I mean, there's nothing worse than, I mean, Coach Holloway and I, we talk probably every day. We talk a lot about this, and it's simple. When you have expectations of young people based on what you know of them and what you put in them, what kind of training they've done, you sort of, a coach or as an adult, you're expecting to see some of that happen on the track. And I think that's probably the greatest disappointment of any coach, to just have faith and trust and see so much potential in the young person. You just want to see that come. So to me, that's my high. Just work with them, know what they can do. I just want them to do it here, and so all of you guys can see it, because nobody gets to see what they do in practice. I just want everybody to see how hard some of these women and these young men at University of Texas have worked. I just want everybody to see that they did put in some work, and they deserve some, I don't know, hand clap or whatever you want to call it. That's all I want to see.
To answer your question, we don't spend a lot of I don't spend a lot of time calculating points for other teams. I mean, like Edric says, it's not football or basketball. I can't change what I do, and honestly, at least once a week, somebody tells me what flow track or track and field news says we can't do anyway. So it's a great motivator from there. And then from that standpoint, I just try to get my athletes ready to do the best they can. I mean, I'll have a better idea Wednesday night, you know, before I go to bed, of what we can possibly do on Friday. But I think that people should do is, when you look at the four coaches up here, all four of us have great teams, great individuals, and I'm not so much concerned about what they can't do. I'm not wishing ill upon any of them. I want everybody to have a great championship and perform at their highest level, and then you're going to see a track meet like no other. And that's what I'm hoping for this weekend.
Yeah, I can't say I don't look at what we can do. I've really focused more on what we can do and what I think we can do. I've raised 3 boys that are in their 30s, and they tell me what I can score each week. They're about crazy about keeping the score. It is so fun to win a championship and team scoring. I think it's what it's all about. And so I think that's the main thing. But I try to just stay in my lane and focus on our kids and leave it up to the experts to pick what points we're going to score.
Got one last question in the room, in the middle here.
Thank you. Chris, and speaking of courage, like when everybody was talking about Britain, obviously what's kind of floating under the radar is what Aiden's doing, right? I mean, obviously, I think everybody was hoping that we'd see his greatness again across 10 events, but much like Anna did last year, it's like, I don't know if they have a name for an 11-event tathlon. We were kind of dubbing Anna as the octathlon last year when she had at the 400 hurdles, but just how awesome has that been that he's able to contribute to the team in that and the relay and and picking up an event that nobody really knew he could be that great in at this time last year.
Yeah, it's unique, no question about that. But much like Britain, Aiden's a team player, and we just felt like for the best for his health and well-being moving forward is to stay away from the decathlon this spring. He obviously is still training and doing all that, but felt like his best chance moving forward would be to give him a break from that. But just like Britton, he goes, Coach, I want to contribute in another way, and I think I can run the 400 hurdles. And he and Coach Geffert kind of hatched that up. But I guess it was his idea, and he just doesn't want to go out not competing, and so he picked it up. And I've coached a couple of those hurdlers back in the day, Joey Woody and some of those things. Yeah, some of those guys have done pretty well, and just I'm just amazed at how quickly he's picked up on it. And it's not an easy event, but he's doing a great job. And so we get 2 more rounds to run, and we'll let history judge it after that. But just very proud of him wanting to contribute and be part of the team and score some points for us in another area. And I think it's worked out good. I'm just, again, compliments to my coaches for the great job they've done up to this point. So he's a great athlete.